Jai Radha Jai Radha Jai Radha Jai Gopi Janavallabha Yashodanandana Bhajanana Yashodanandana Yamunatiramanatara Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chaksurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. All the devotees, thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. So we are going to read the 46th verse of chapter 7 of canto number 4. So 4746. 4746. This is the chapter entitled The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the verse is, we'll read the Sanskrit part of the verse first, and all the devotees can take their turns. Tvam pura gam rasaya mahasukaro. Tvam pura gam rasaya mahasukaro. Dramstaya padminim varanendro yatha. Dramstraya padminim varanendro yatha. Stuyamano nadal Leelaya yogibhir stuyamano nadal leelaya yogibhir Vijharta Traigatra Vijharta Traigatra Yagyakratuhu Vijharta Traigatra Yagyakratuhu Tvampuragam Rasaya Mahasukaro Dramstraya Padminim Varanendro Yatha Stuyamano Nadalilaya Yogibhir Vijharta Traigatra Yagyakratuhu Tvampuragam Rasaya Mahasukaro Dramstraya Padminim Varanendro Yatha Stuyamano Nadalilaya Yogibhir Vijharta Traigatra Yagyakratuhu Tvampuragam Rasaya Mahasukaro Dramstraya Padminim Varanendro Yatha Stuyamano Nadalilaya Yogibhir Vijharta Traigatra Yagyakratuhu Tvampuragam Rasaya Mahasukaro Dramstraya Padminim Varanendro Yatha Stuyamano Nadalilaya Yogibhir Vijharta Traigatra Yagyakratuhu. So now if you want to recite the verse, please do so. So this is 4746. Anyone is trying? You can just unmute yourself and recite the verse.
Sorry, Prabhu, I don't have the verse.
Yes, now devotees might have the verse. Is anyone who's trying? Avash Prabhu.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yes, Kirti Mataji.
Tvam puragamrasya mahasukho dharmstraye padmini varanendro yatha stuyamano nadalilya yogivir vijayarthatraye gatra yajna kartu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry if it was wrong.
No, that's okay. Hare Krishna. And,
Can I try, Prabhuji?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Tampuragam rasaya mahashukaro damstraya padminim varanendra yatha stuyomana nadalilaya yogivi bhujaharta troigatra yaga kratu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Sister Mataji.
So, Prabhuji, I am trying.
Yes, Avash Prabhu, yeah.
Tampuragam Rashaya Mahashukaro Damstraya Poddinim Varnendro Yatha Strayamano Nadala Lilaya Yogivi Bhujya Tatroigatra Yagya Kraudu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So anyone else wants to try this verse? So verse number 46, 4746. Okay, so we'll look at the word by word translation. So Tvam, you, Pura in the past, Gam, the earth, Rasayaha, from within the water, Mahasukara, the great boar incarnation, Dramstraya, with your tusk, Padminim, a lotus, Varana Indra, an elephant, Yatha is Stuyamanaha, being offered prayers, Nadan, vibrating, Lilaya, very easily, Yogi Bhi, by great sages like Sanak, etc. Vijharta, picked up Trayagatra, O personified Vedic knowledge, Yagya Kratuhu, having the form of sacrifice. The translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, someone can read the translation. So who wants to read the translation? This is 47.46.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yes, you can read the translation.
Dear Lord, O personified Vedic knowledge, in the past millennium, long ago, when you appeared as great boa incarnation, you picked up the world from the water, as an elephant picks up a lotus flower from a lake. When you vibrated transcendental sound in the gigantic form of a boa, the sound was accepted as a sacrificial hymn, and great sage like Sanaka meditated upon it and offered prayers for your glorification.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So someone can read the purport. Hare Krishna Nalini Khan Prabhu. Anyone can read the purport. So this is 2.7.46.
Obeisances, Prabhu, I'm driving.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Anyone wants to read the purport? If no one, then I can read it. Anyone?
Okay,
I'll try.
Prabhu.
Okay.
Okay, Prabhu, yeah, I'm trying.
Abbas Prabhu, yes.
Okay.
A significant word used in this verse is Troigatra, which means that the transcendental form of the Lord is the Vedas. Anyone who engages in the worship of the deity or the form of the Lord in the temple is understood to be studying all the Vedas 24 hours a day. Simply by decorating the deities of the Lord, Radha and Krishna, in the temple, one very minutely studies the injunctions of the Vedas. Even a neophyte devotee who simply engages in the worship of the deity is understood to be in the direct touch with the purport of the Vedic knowledge, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedesya Shargo Yohameva Vedya. The purport of the Vedas is to understand him, Krishna. One who worships and serves Krishna directly has understood the truths of the Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Prabhupada writes so many things in this purport here. We will discuss that a little bit later. We'll look at the verse first and the translation. So we have, this is actually during the sacrifice that's performed by Daksha. So who's offering prayers here? Who's offering prayers to the Lord? The Lord has appeared in the sacrifice. The sacrifice is complete. The sacrifice that was performed by Daksha. We know that the sacrifice got spoiled because of Sati giving up her body. You know, so many things happen after that. I'm sure all of you know what happened. And then now Daksha has got a head of a goat, and then he has already, the sacrifice is already complete. And when the sacrifice got completed, then Lord actually appeared. So Lord appeared and everyone is offering their prayers to the Lord. So there are so many people who offer prayers to the Lord. Daksha starts with his prayers. He offers prayers to the Lord. And then we have the priests, and then we have the other members in the assembly. They also offered their prayers to the Lord. And then Lord Shiva also did that and asked for forgiveness also for his part in destroying the yajna. And then Bhrigu Muni, who was given the beard of a goat, and then also Brahma, Lord Indra, and also the sages, the siddhas, and the wife of Daksha. Who's the wife of Daksha?
Prasuti.
Prasuti, correct. Prasuti is the wife. So she offered her prayers to the Lord. And the Vedas, the fire god Agni Dev, and then the Gandharvas, the Vidyadharas. And then now, who's offering the prayers? Now,
Brahmanas.
correct, very nice. The Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are offering their prayers to the Lord. So these prayers are from the Brahmanas. So they're addressing the Lord directly and saying, you, Tvam. So I'm addressing the Lord as Tvam. Pura Gam Rasaya Mahasukaro. Pura means in the past, previously. So previously, the Lord accepted the form of what?
Boa.
Goel.
Ready.
Mahasukar, not ordinary sukar, but Mahasukar. Mahasukar. So we know that Lord accepts the sukar incarnation, the boa incarnation. In the Kalp, in one day of Brahma, like in this day of Brahma, how many times did Lord accept the form of sukara?
2 times.
Huh?
2 times.
Twice, correct. Yeah, 2 times. Twice. So first time it was with when? The first time.
When the earth, when Hiranyaksh hit the earth in the ocean.
That is the second time. The first time it was, thank you, Mataji. First time when it was,
Shetavaraha.
yeah, Svetavaraha Kalpa. And at that time, what happened? The vote, because at the end of the Kalpa, previous Kalpa, the lower planets, including the Earth, is underwater. Right. And then Swayambhu Manu is asked to create progeny. And to have progeny, to create it, you need to have a place. Right? So he was given the instruction by Lord Brahma to procreate. But there's no place to stay. Like if someone is getting married, they need to have a house, or someone is if you want to settle someone somewhere, then you need to have a place for them. So where's the place? Where will I put all the people whom I create? So then at that time, so the earth is where?
The water.
In the which water?
Karnadak.
No, not Karanadak. Not Karanadak ocean. Garbhodak ocean. Because Karanadak is outside, not inside. Inside it's Garbhodak. Lord Vishnu is lying on the Garbhodakshai, Garbhajal. So, we have Garbhodakshai Vishnu in Garbhodak ocean. So that's where the earth was. And at that time, Lord comes out from the
nose of Brahma.
The nose of the Brahma.
nose of Brahma. So Lord appears from the nose of Brahma, the nostrils of Brahma, and that is which Manvantar? The first Manvantar, the Swayambhu Manvantar. And at that time, Lord appears. So Lord appears in Sukar in the first Manvantar. And then, so only he comes and lifts the earth in the first, the Mahasukar. And then the second time when Lord appears, it was when?
Chakshush Manvanta.
Chakshush Manvantar, very nice. And when he appeared the second time, then at that time he lifted the earth, and what else did he do?
He killed Hiranyaksh.
Yes, correct. He killed Hiranyaksh, because in the first Manvantar, Hiranyaksh was not there. But if you see the Bhagavad Katha, the two different pastimes are combined, put together. But in one Manvantar, Lord only lifts the earth. In the next Manvantar, in the sixth Manvantar, he lifts the earth and kills Hiranyaksh. Yeah. And we also know that Lord actually he did not appear directly as the Varaha, but he appeared in one form, and then he showed his Sukar form recently. To whom? Recently. Who did he show? He showed his Sukar form to
Brahma.
Sarvama Acharya.
he showed his for incarnation to Murari Gupta. He showed his Sukar incarnation. He showed that his Sukar form to Murari Gupta recently when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. When did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear? Which year?
1486.
Yeah, 1486. So if you want to know where when he exhibited the Sukar incarnation, so that is given in Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khand, 3rd chapter. So where he exhibited his Varaha form. To whom?
To Murari
Murari
Gupta.
Gupta.
Murari Gupta. And that's Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khand in the 3rd chapter. So so here, Twampura Gam, Twampura previously, he Gam means the earth. In both cases, in both times, the first first Manvantar or the 6th Manvantar, the Swambhu Manvantar, and also Chakshush Manvantar, he lifted the earth. He lifted the earth. So therefore, Tvam Pura Gam Rasaya. Rasaya means from the water, Rasa. Raso Mapsi. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Rasa. Raso Mapsi Konte Prabhas Misasura. I am the Ras. Ras means I'm the taste in the water here. So Rasa also here, Prabhupada writes from the within the water. So the water that is referred to is which water? Water of the which ocean?
Garbhodaksh.
Garbhodak ocean. So Tvam Pura Gam Rasaya Maha Sukar. It's not ordinary Sukar because here that Sukar came in a very small form, like very small from the nostril of Brahma, and then started increasing in size, and it became very huge. Maha Sukar. Not an ordinary Sukar, not like a small boa that you see in the that we have seen, but this is really huge, and people could see from different higher planets. All the great sages could see the Lord. So it's Mahasukar, because to lift the earth, you need can you get a small sukar? No, you need to have a very huge form. So he lifted the earth planet in the form of Mahasukar, Sukar incarnation, or Varha incarnation. So, and how did he lift it? With his
tusk. Tusk.
huh?
Tusk.
So that is Dramstraya. With his Dramstraya, with your tusk. With your tusk, you lifted the whole earth, Lord. So these are Brahmanas praying to the praying to the Lord. And how you lifted it, like lifting something, you see nowadays, the people go in Olympics and all these different kinds of competitions, and you look at their face. What does that show? That they are
Using
Exerting
their strength.
all their strength.
their full strength. They're really struggling, and they're struggling to keep the earth. Struggling to keep the weight, and just for maybe 1 or 2 seconds they lift and then put it down straight away. Sometimes they throw it down. So, but Lord, when he lifted this whole earth planet, it is mentioned that Padminim means
Lotus. Lotus.
lotus flower, and Indraha, Varanendro, Yatha. Just like he was lifting it, the elephant lifting Varanindra, Varan Indra. So just like elephant lifting a lotus. Elephant can lift so many things. Elephant can uproot a tree. Elephant can lift big rocks. But if you look at the lotus flower, the weight of lotus flower for the elephant, is it a huge weight for?
No.
Just like that. So it's not that Lord found that earth very heavy. It's not like that. It was very light for the Lord. Of course, Lord is lifting all the Brahmandas, and Lord, when he performed his pastimes on the earth, when he came 5,120, how many years ago?
23?
Yeah, 23, 5,124 years ago, when he came as Lord Krishna. And at that time, Lord actually lifted the which Parvat?
Govardhan Hill.
Govardhan Parvat, and he kept it not with both hands. He did not hold it with both hands, but only with the
fingertips
and
of
the
little finger.
only one finger, little finger, for how many days and how many nights?
7 days, 7 nights.
Yeah, 7 days and 7 nights. So that is just, that doesn't display his full strength. It doesn't mean that only he can do that much. He can lift that Govardhan Parvat. He can lift one whole earth here, as we see in the case of Varaha incarnation, and he can lift the whole planets. And all the planets are resting on his hood. And Lord is just like one mustard seed on little mustard seed for him. So here, that's why it's mentioned that for Lord, it was just like some elephant lifting one Padmini, lifting one lotus flower. So which means this very insignificant weight for the Lord. Does it make sense? So here, and while he was doing this, when he was lifting this earth in the form of Mahasukara, at that time, Stuyamano, yogis, what were the yogis doing?
Offering prayers?
Offering prayers. They were offering prayers to the Lord. They were offering prayers to the Lord when the Lord picked up the head. Picked up here, Vijyaharta, when he lifted the earth, at that time, the yogis were praying to the Lord. The yogis were offering beautiful praise. And Prabhupada writes here, the great sages, because at that time, or the upper planets, the Satyalok and other planets, all the residents were still there. So in upper planets, we know we have these sages, we have the 4 Kumaras, and they're on Brahmalok. So they were offering prayers to the Lord. So that's why it's Stuyamana. And when Lord actually shook his body, then the water sprinkled, when a boa, normally comes out of the water, they shake their body. So when Lord shook the body, then the water sprinkled on them. And then they considered that to be, themselves to be,
Auspicious.
that they considered themselves to have got purified because of that water. We know that the water that is emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord is purifying the whole world, and that water is known as
Ganga.
Ganga. Yeah. And so the water that's sprinkled from the body of the Lord is purified all the sages. Otherwise, we normally take bath in the after if you are touched by an animal, including a dog. If the dog touches it, in the Shastra is mentioned that you have to take bath. So, or any animal, a sukar is considered to be a very degraded animal. So you have to take bath. So, but they consider themselves purified with the water. And we know that the hair that fell on the ground from his body and that from that grass came out, and that grass is called, and that grass is used in the yajna. Kush, yeah, correct. Yeah. So here, the Lord, the yogis are offering prayers, and nad, the nadar. So the nad, he made a sound. He made a sound. Just like boa, the pigs, they make some sound. They kind of sound. This sound, it is mentioned that this sound, nadal, by Lila, he's doing all these things. He's performing this beautiful pastime of lifting the head by his Lila, yeah. It's not that he's struggling or anything like that. And that the nad is just like yagya kratu. So it is like the sound that is coming out. It is like some sacrificial hymn, the sound that generated from the body of the Lord. That, and of course, the sound that Lord is making. So, in the nad, we have this word in the Bhagavad Gita, Singanadam Vinodyacha Shankam Dharmo Pratapavan. So that's in the Bhagavad Gita. Nad means the sound. So that nadan, that vibrated, and that is like the yajna kratu, having the form of the sacrifice. And Trigatra, that Trigatra, Gatra, what is the meaning of Trai?
It means three.
Three.
So Gatra means Gatra, like we have Sidanti Mama Gatrani Mukam Chaparishiti. Yeah. Vepatushta Sharire Nero Maharshasya Jayati. Gatra, that means the body. So Trai Gatra, that means the form of the body of Vedas. So personified Vedic knowledge or body of a person. So that is what the West means. Sampuragam Rasaya Mahasukaro Ramstraya Padminim Varendriyo Yatha Tuyamano Nadalilaya Yogi Vijahar Tantrai Gatra Yagya Kratu. So once again, the Prabhupada's translation. Oh dear Lord, oh personified Vedic knowledge. In the past millennium, long, long ago, when you appeared as a great boy incarnation, you picked up the world from the water as an elephant picks up the lotus flower from a lake. When you vibrated transcendental sound in the gigantic form of a boa, the sound was accepted as a sacrificial hymn, and great sages like Sanak meditated upon it and offered prayers for your glorification. So that's a very nice prayer by the Brahmanas. Very nicely they prayed, and Prabhupada writes a lot of things here in this purport. If you look at the purport, there's a lot of things. So Prabhupada says this word Trai Gatra is very, very significant because it means that transcendental form of the Lord is the Vedas. So his referred like it's Trai Gatra. So it's form of the Vedas. How can the Varaha form be referred to as the form of the Vedas? That's maybe the question. Why do you think he's referred to as the form of the Vedas?
He's a Lord.
Yeah, he's the Lord.
And Vedeshta Sarve Rahameva Veddai means Vedanta means Krishna, Lord. So that's why it's compared with the. So Varaha means Lord Krishna.
Yeah. Also the breathing, like breathing. Where do you breathe in, breathe out from?
No.
From Australia, oh yes.
Breathing and breathing out from Australia. And how does how does the weathers appear? The weathers from the breathing
Lord Vishnu.
of Vishnu. So here, so breathing is coming. Of course, weathers is going to the Lord, to Brahma. So in the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that Tene Brahma Hirdayadika. Muhyanti at Surya, that way. So he's Brahma is given the Vedic knowledge. The Lord gave Brahma the Vedic knowledge. So that Vedas is coming out, manifesting from his
No.
no.
Astral.
So
Okay.
he's the Trigatra, is the form, that Varaha form. Of course, in any form of the Lord is not different from the Vedas. Trigatra, which means the transcendental form of the world is the of the Lord is the Vedas. And also Lord Prabhupada also glorifies the deity worship here. Worship of the deity and the form in the temple is understood to be anyone who's doing the deity worship is understood to be studying all the Vedas 24 hours a day, just by decorating the deities of the Lord in the temple. And he minutely studies the injunctions of the Vedas. So what does that mean? Even a neophyte who simply engages in the worship of the deity is understood to be in direct touch with the purport of Vedic knowledge. Why does Prabhupada bring this here? What does that
Prabhupada says, Prabhuji, it says probably that the purpose of the Vedas is to know the Krishna, or to know the Krishna. Here, one who is worshipping the Lord in the temple, he knows that that Krishna is the source of everything. So he is doing that. In that way, he is understood the Vedas completely.
just understood Vedas completely by just offering, knowing, just
By
worshiping?
knowing he is the ultimate, so he is serving the Lord in the personal form.
Yeah, in the personal form, very nice. In the form, this form, that Lord, one important thing is knowing that the Lord has got a form. Because when we know that in the Bhagavad Gita, which, the first verse of the 12th chapter, Evam satata bhaktastam paripasate chapyaksharama viktam tesham ke yoga viktam, which is the best, worshipping you in this personal aspect, or worshipping an impersonal aspect, which is better. And then Lord Krishna says, Maya manoema mitya yukta upasati.
Upasati Shraddhaya Paropetaste Te Me Yukta Tamo Mataha.
Very nice. Maya manoema mitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya Parayopitaste Me Yukta Tamo Mataha. So that is the best, worshipping me. Maya manoema mitya yukta upasate, always. And this is considered to be best, Lord Krishna said. And this is the person, this is actually yoga with the man, one who knows this correctly, perfectly. So the personal, so one understands that Lord has got a form. That's number one. Anything else?
Because the other worshipping the Lord in a formless form is very difficult. Kleshodikataras.
Yeah, Kleshodikataras Nishama Vakta
To understand it is very difficult.
Troublesome and very troublesome and very hard to focus on something which is impersonal. No, doesn't have a form. Correct. So anything else?
Yeah, also Prabhu, it has been told, means we are human, so our means our eyes will be seeing to him, our nose will take fragrance of his lotus flowers, so we can that way also we are taking his blessings, his mercy, when we are doing the worshipping the Archavigraha, we are doing arti and all these things.
Using all the different parts of the body.
Yeah, our senses are engaging.
Yeah, in the
service. Yeah. So.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. So that means you are using every part of the body in serving.
Yeah, to servicing.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. So how is it connected to the Vedas? The Vedas, the one knows Vedas, that means they've understood the Vedas.
It has been told in Veda that means we will be purifying to service the Lord in that way, worshiping the Lord.
Yeah. So here we have there's a verse also which says that Sarva Upanishado Gao
Gabo, yes.
Gopal Nandana
Nandana.
Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta, and then Dugdam Gitam Mritam Mahat. So Sarva Upanishado Gao, all the Upanishads are like,
Milking the cows.
all the Upanishads are like the cows. Sarva Upanishado
Upanishad.
Gao. Gao means like the cows. Sarva Upanishad, all the scripts, all the Vedas. And the milkman, Dogda Gopal Nandana, who is the
Gopal Nandan is milkman.
milkman. He's the one who's milking. He's a cowhead boy. He's milking the cow. So he's the milker, the one who's milking. And then for milking, you need something else.
To distribute others.
Before milking, you need, to get the milking done, you need something else.
Calf.
Partho Vatsaha. Vatsaha is Parth.
Arjuna is the Parth. Yeah.
Arjuna. So Arjuna is the Parth. Arjuna is the calf. Partho Vatsaha. Sudhir Bhok. And who is the Sudhir? Sudhir means Dhir and Sudhir. Dhir.
The devotees?
Yeah, Dhir. Sudhir. One who has got good intelligence. Sudhir. Sudhir, or in the devotees. Sudhir. Bhokta. So we have the milk now. We have to drink.
Drink it.
Drink it. Bhokta. Bhokta means one who takes it or
Consumes it.
Drinks.
And what is that milk here? Sudhir Bhokta?
Upanishad, Veda.
Gita. Gita Amrita Mahat. So, Sarva Upanishado Gao Dogda Gopalananda Partha Vasa Sudhir Bhokta Gita Amrita Mahat. So, Mahat means great. This Gita Amrit, this great Gita Amrit is actually the essence of
all the Vedas.
All the Vedas. It is the essence of all the Vedas. So if you know Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita was given to us through the medium of Arjuna by Krishna. So he is getting all the essence, this milkman is getting all the milk through and giving it to Arjuna through medium of Arjuna, is giving it to all the Sudhira Bhaktas. And then all of us, we have to those people who are intelligent, thank you. So this is the essence of the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Vedas. Yeah, essence of all the Vedas. Yeah. And then now in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives some very, very important instructions. Isn't it true?
Yes.
Instructions like Sarva Guhyatam Bhuya Shrunume Paramavacha Yatyam Priyamanaya Vakshami. So Lord Krishna is saying, I am giving you this very now supreme instruction. And when he starts giving the supreme instruction, what does he say?
By doing this, nothing will left unknown to you. Also,
so what is the supreme instruction? Bhuya.
Sarva Dhamman Parityaja Mame.
Before that, again, I'm giving you again, he says. Sarva Guhitam Bhuya Shrunume Paramam Vachaha. Again I'm giving you. And which is that? Which is given again?
Instruction.
One is given that in the
past to Suryadev.
No. He gave it
He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Gave it in the 9th chapter at the last verse, and is giving again. What is this verse?
9th chapter last.
He's not giving again. Yes?
Manmana Bhava Madhbhakto.
Yeah. Manmana Bhava Madhbhakto.
Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru.
That's the first one. And the second time again he's saying, I'm giving you that.
Oh, yes. Manamana Bhava Madhya Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru Mama Vashashi Yuktapam Pratijana
Man-
Priyoshime.
Pratijane Priyoshime.
So that's the first one is given like
924.
Pratijana Priyoshime.
and again it's given in chapter 9 chapter
Then 18.
18 Manmanava Bhakta
Namaskara.
Satyamte
Pratijane Priyoshime.
Satyamte. So in that one, those two verses we say Man Manava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. If you look at these things, so that is one of the important instructions of the Bhagavad Gita. And also we have, of course, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papibhyo Moksha. Before that is Man Manava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So if you have Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedic knowledge. And in the Vedic knowledge, in the Bhagavad Gita itself, the topmost instructions are Manmana Bhava and Sarva Dharman Parityaja. They're put together. And Lord Krishna says, I'm giving this again. Why will Lord Krishna give it twice? If Lord Krishna gives it twice, or if he says like something is mentioned 3 times or twice, that means it is very, very
Important.
important. Like Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam. It is very, very important, and everyone must understand this. You repeat it again and again so that people can understand. It's important instruction. So similarly, this is a very important instruction. So he's giving Lord Krishna is giving twice. And so if you look at what's the meaning of Manmanava?
Always think about me.
Mad Bhakto.
Mera bhakt bano, my devotee.
Be my devotee.
Yeah, be my devotee.
Madhyaji.
Worship.
Worship.
Mam
Namaskar.
Namaskuru. Mam Namaskuru.
Means worship. Obeisances.
Yeah, so are we not doing these things when we are worshipping the deity?
Yes,
we are doing
we are
all of
doing.
Mad Bhakto, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru, yes, paying obeisances. So everything, so we can see. So, but the thing is, important thing is we have to, if you are worshipping and then you are, if you worship it properly, like, there are so many different katha in the scriptures. We know that there is, there is which katha, we see the importance of deities and how much faith people had in the deities. It's not that we are just worshipping something, it's just mechanically and without much devotion. Anyone and everyone can do that, but the thing is, the main thing is, important thing is the devotion. We can see that the 2 brahmanas, one, the older brahmana, younger brahmana goes with the older brahmana for Tirath Yatra, right, for visiting the different places of pilgrimage. You can see that how much faith this younger brahmana had. It's given in the Chaitanya Lila. How much faith he had. He knew that he said in front of the Lord, he said to the older brahmana, you want to give me your daughter? I don't deserve the daughter, and I'm not interested in your daughter, but still you are interested in giving me your daughter in marriage. I will accept it, but you just say it in front of the Lord. Gopalji. And then he knew that the Lord is,
The Lord will corroborate it.
Lord is hearing, and if need be, Lord will become the witness. He knew that. We can see how much faith he had on the deity. Isn't it true?
Yes.
Do we have that kind of faith?
No.
So that kind of faith is very important. He did not consider the Lord to be having some form made of stone. He had so much faith that this form is not different from Krishna. And he had so much of faith. And then we can see in the Katha how this Lord actually, he said to the Lord, he went to the Lord because the family members of the older Brahmana, they were not agreeing. And they said to Brahmana, who's there? There's no one there. Because they did not have faith in the Lord's form. But this younger Brahmana has so much faith. Yes, Lord will come if need be. And then we know that when no one was agreeing, the family members, and then he said, I will, okay. The witness was the Lord, and I'm going to call the Lord. And they said, oh, what is this guy doing? How can he bring the Lord? But the Lord actually, he went to call the Lord, and he said to the Lord, that you have to come with us. You are the witness. He said, Lord, but how can a deity move? The Lord said, how can a murti move? But he said, if the murti can talk, then why can't he move? If he can talk, then he should also move. And he had so much faith that the Lord can talk, he can walk, and he can hear. and then the deity came. And what's the name of the deity of the Lord?
Gopal
Shakshi Gopal.
Saksi Gopal.
Gopal. We see in that katha also how much faith that this younger Brahmana had. And we can see how much faith Madhavendra Puri had. And that Gopal came in his dream also and said, I am there. I am lying there in that place, and take me and establish me on top of the mountain. And he did that and he said, I am there. That means I am not different from the deity.
The deity.
Yeah, and then he established, and also Lord, he had so much faith in the deity, and then that Lord actually even stole for him Madhavendra Puri.
Kichor Gopinath.
Sure, Gopinath. And the Lord came in his dream, and I am not different from Gopinath. So then he asked him to go and get the sandalwood. So we can see how much faith these people had. No, complete faith in the deity. So that is as good as. That's why
reading Veda.
Because any form of devotion, any form can give us the result, but we have to have that kind of faith. We have to have that kind of faith, because we know that there is 9 kinds of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam,
Vandanam, Darshanam.
Yeah, those are the 9 kinds of devotional service, and we can see that by Shravanam, someone achieved perfection. Only one. He just hearing. Who was that?
Sukdev Goswami.
Yeah, who?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Sutta Goswami.
Parikshit.
Shravanam is Parikshit Maharaj. Kirtanam, who achieved perfection?
Sukdev Goswami.
Yeah.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam.
Dhruva Maharaj.
Prithu Maharaj.
No, that's Prahlad Maharaj.
Oh, Prahlad
Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam.
Lakshmi Maya.
Hanuman.
Lakshmi Maya.
Lakshmi Maya, okay.
Padasevanam. And Archanam.
Prithu Maharaj.
Prithu Maharaj.
Vandanam.
Akrur.
Vandanam Dasyam.
Hanumanji.
Hanuman. Sakyam.
Arjuna.
Atma Nivedanam.
Bali Maharaj.
So you can see different people perform perfection just by just one process. So deity worship, if one is doing it properly, of course it will give the results. But we must have that kind of faith that this younger Brahmana had, or Madhavendra Puri had. So that's why it's mentioned here that that one who is one who very minutely studies the injunctions of the Vedas, if they are simply worshipping, decorating the deity, so that's why it's mentioned in this verse like this. And also it's mentioned here, Prabhupada writes that Bhagavad Gita deity is considered to be direct to touch with the Vedic knowledge, is confirmed. And also he says Vedas Sarvedahama Veda Vedanta Veda Vinachama. So he says the real purport of the Vedas is to understand
Krishna.
Yeah, the real goal of Vedas. The real goal is to understand Krishna. Vedas Aham eva Vedyam. I am to be known by all the Vedas. Also, the purpose of reading all the Vedas and all the scriptures to understand Krishna. Now, if someone has understood Krishna, Vedas, all the essence of Vedas is Bhagavad Gita, and in Bhagavad Gita you have this important verses. Manmana Bhamad Bhakto, and one performing deity worship is actually doing all those things. But of course, you need to understand that this is not an ordinary something made up of stone or marble or something. It's the Lord Himself. Lord is there. So we must have that kind of faith. Lord is everywhere, but Lord is only seen with the eyes of Premanjana, Anjana Churita Bhakti, Lochana. So with the eyes of devotion. And one who worships and serves Krishna directly has understood the truths of the Vedas. When serving Krishna directly has understood the truths of the Vedas. Hare Krishna. So thank you all the devotees, and there's so much we can discuss in this verse, but we'll have to soon conclude. And so we have time for some questions. So please, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. Anything else? Any questions or comments?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes, Mataji.
That 3 Baraha, so this Baraha is for second time, and how first Baraha came? How appearance, the first Baraha?
First Baraha in the Swayambhu Manvantar appeared from the nostril of Brahma.
Brahma, okay.
Yeah. So he appeared from the nostril of Brahma because Swayambhu Manu was given the instruction of begetting a population, progeny. And so there was no place. He found that there was no earth. He was looking for the earth because lower planets were underwater. And so Brahma meditates because Brahma always takes shelter of the Lord. So he took shelter of the Lord. He starts thinking about the Lord, and then the Lord appears in the very small form, just like a small varaha, like a thumb size, and then started increasing in size, and he became Mahasukar. That was the first Manvantar, the Swayambhu Manvantar, and then again Lord comes again in the 6th Manvantar, Chakshush Manvantar.
So that today's slok is about the Chakshus Manvantar?
And this is not actually about the incarnation of the Lord. It is prayers of the Brahmanas in the Daksh Yagya. In the Daksh Yagya, after the Yagya was destroyed, we know that they all went and offered prayers to Lord Shiva, and then Lord Shiva got pleased, and then Lord Shiva gave the means by which the Yagya could be completed, and then they completed the Yagya, and then the Lord appeared when the Yagya was completed, because we know that in the previous Yugas, that was the form of the Yagya. So, and then when the Yagya was finished, and then Lord appears, and then everyone starts offering their prayers to the Lord, and then the Brahmanas are offering their prayers to the Lord, and the Brahmanas are saying this about the Lord who has appeared there, that you have Pura previously appeared as Vara, saying to Lord Vishnu that you have appeared as Mahasukara before. Pura means previously, so twice.
Okay.
So we are not talking about the actual incarnations or list of incarnations, but we are talking about the prayers in which the Lord, someone is offering prayers to the Lord and saying that you have previously appeared, Pura, previously as Vara.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the context.
Thank you.
Prabhu, so first time also he lifted the earth when earth was lying in the Garbhodak.
First time also lifted, but only lifted the earth. Second time he lifted as well as killed
the
Hiranyaks. And of course, in the Kali Yuga, when he shows the form in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's exhibiting his form to Vara. It's just a Vara form, that's all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so in Chaitanya Lila, yes.
Yeah, Chaitanya Lila also he shows his Vara form to Murari Gupta.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Prabhu, you mentioned that Lord lifted the Earth's planets, just like an elephant lifting lotus flower, and because it was so easy for him. And also that Lord Balaram, in the form of Seshanak, is carrying all the universes, just like mustard seeds on his head. So how should we understand how Seshanak is carrying all these planets? Somebody might ask, how is Seshanak where he's standing, or how, in what form, how does it happen? Because physically, impossible. You go to stand somewhere or have some resting place to lift everything up.
Sorry, I couldn't understand. So how do you understand what, bro?
How Sheshanag is carrying all the planetary system on his head, just like mustard seeds.
Oh, mustard seed, all the universes,
Yeah,
all the universes resting on the hood as
food.
on the hood of the Lord.
Anantashes.
Yeah.
And then that is just like so all the universes are there. We know that there's so many
Yeah.
universes that
Mhm.
come out from the body of Karuna Daksha Vishnu. There's so many universes.
Yeah.
So they are all, there's many, millions and billions of universes, and all of them are actually, of course, we can't see them. Of course, most people say this is this pull, that pull, or some gravity, or this, that, but the thing is, or some orbit or whatever. But who is controlling all this? So Lord is actually keeping all these planets in place by his own potency. We can see even when Lord he lifted the earth, and then when he was fighting with Hiranyaksha, he just kept the earth on the water, and the water it just remained there. Made it remain there, so it did not go into the water again. When Lord lifted it by his Shakti, by his potency, he can do that. And similarly, we can see in the case of this Leela, where Lord Ramchandra makes the monkeys build a bridge, and at that time all the stones were floating. So this is the divine arrangement of the Lord. So Lord can do those things. He can lift a mountain, or he can lift a earth, or he can lift the whole universes, and all these universes are actually in place because of the Lord. Of course, there are other things mentioned, that there are big gadgets in each. Big gadget means that four big elephants are there. The tortoise is there, and Sheshnag. So many things are mentioned. That keeps and sometimes the Bhudhar is also mentioned, which are big mountains within the different earths, and planets. Then the mountains keep those planets in place. But of course, the real position is maintained by the potency of the Lord.
Thank you. Also, I like the point where Srila Prabhupada mentioned one who worships the deity, he or she actually knows all the Vedas, or they are actually they know the purpose of the Vedas. And you mentioned you mentioned very nicely how that happens. Yeah, by Manmanabhava Madbhakto, because one who does deity worship in faith, they're already meditating, and they know all the purpose of the Vedas. Such a nice point.
Yeah, because everyone is different. Someone may, because everyone has got different kinds of so bhav is there. So some may be attracted to the holy name and then chant holy name, just like Haridas Thakur. But if one, Prabhupada is given system where we can have so many different, all these processes, the 9 kinds of processes. So if we can't actually, it's not possible to be like Haridas Thakur, but we can at least have, if we don't get the ruchi in the name, then we can do some deity worship, or we can listen to the katha and everything. But all these different processes are complete in itself. And but in Kali Yuga, the most powerful, of course, the most effective method is Harinam Sankirtan for the Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And you know that we're talking about the yajna here. The yajna got completed, all these things and everything. But the real yajna is which for the Kali Yuga it is
Harinam.
Sankirtan yajna. This is the real yajna for this age. Yeah, so all these different processes are there, and we can whatever depends on different people's ruchi. But then again, we shouldn't be like what do you call some pujari who just does it as a as a duty or as a job. It
As
is
a
to be
rituals, as a rituals.
ritual. Not like that. One has to have that kind of devotion. That then he's understood the purport of the Vedas. Hare Krishna.
You.
The knowledge is very necessary.
Anything? So what did we learn? Quickly summarizing, what did we learn today? What are the things that we learned? What are the important things that you have learned?
I learned when we'll worship the deity, at least remember what we are doing. And he is the Lord. He is not that, his personal form is like that. He's not like stone and not like marble. And he is there. And also we'll remember that slokas. That is very important for me today, that I will focus.
Thank you, Madhava. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else? So that's very important. You learned about how everything could be engaged, like mind, and that we are doing everything the Lord Krishna is asking. Very nice. Anything else that you learned today?
We should have faith in Arch Vigraha.
Yeah, we should have faith in Arch Vigraha. Very nice. We looked at some examples of this. Very nice. Anything else? What is?
Also, I learned 3 barahas.
3 Varahas, one in
Yeah.
The West mentions the Pura previous. Of course, the Chaitanya Lila is actually more recent. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anything else that you learned? Anything else? Any devotees? Okay, so
Lord is a personal form. I mean,
yeah, Lord has got a personal form, and the worship of the personal aspect is the most perfect form of worship. And also even the person who came to preach Mayavad philosophy, and he is also saying Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamati. So Govind is who? Who's Govind?
Lord Krishna.
Krishna. So he's also saying that you worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Yes, correct. Yes. Anything else? One last point.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just learned the Varaha Avatar Katha.
Yeah, you learned about Varaha. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Talking about Varaha. And if Lord appears in the Varaha form, that Varaha form is not an ordinary form. We just remember that. It's not like any hog that you see, eating stool on the streets or wherever. It's not. This is a transcendental form. It is this form is the Lord's name, form, pastimes, and paraphernalia is all. Anything connected to the Lord becomes a transcendental Lord. So the Lord has got a transcendental form. It's not like our form, because even the Lord Krishna says, "Ajopi sanavayatma bhutana mishvarvasam prakritim swam adhisthana sambhamayatma maya." Prakriti, my own transcendental form. He comes his known transcendental form. Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much, all the devotees. Thank you so much for joining us for this morning. Thank you, Nandavraj Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity to speak on this Ekadashi day. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining us at such a short notice. And, hope you can join us more regularly. Maybe every Monday. Give us a time. We can put you on one spot once a week. We'll discuss later. Thank you. Madhava Govind Prabhu ki jai, Ishwara Prabhupada ki gaur bhakti, vanchagar padaruvesya, gaur